So yeah, I wanted to talk about this last week. As you guys know, shit rolls downhill, slides downhill. I don't know what that saying is, but shit's going on. Now, if you don't know where this stems from, and if you're watching on Twitch, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you're watching on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about because of the title of the video. It is official that Battlefield 6 is the #1 selling game this year. Now, they tweeted out showing that they are the #1 selling shooter of 2025, but I think it's come out since then that it is actually the #1 selling game, period. We'll get into that in a minute. But this is crazy news. Like, this is huge. So I think for this, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the first time ever, I could be wrong, ever though, that Battlefield is the top selling game of a year. It's also the only time that it's beat a Call of Duty game, I believe. Huge news there, right? So Call of Duty lost. Like that's really the thing that we're looking at. But the weird part is did they, like, this is where things start to get really confusing. Like 100% sales wise, Call of Duty got spanked really, really hard. So these are some other titles that came out during the last week about the sales. So Battlefield 6, it just had the best month of sales in the US of any game in the last 3 years. So let's talk about that really quick. So the last game that had this big of a launch was Modern Warfare 2022, or Modern Warfare 2, which makes actually a lot of sense because when I look back to that launch, that is the last Call of Duty game that launched where I could make a video on anything. It was over 100,000 views. That's the last Call of Duty game that had that. And like Black Ops 6 was close, but it died off so damn quickly. It was clear that it didn't have the launch presence that Modern Warfare 2 did. But Battlefield 6 did. And Battlefield 6 continued to support it. If we look at October 2025 US top 20 best-selling games, we have Battlefield 6, Pokemon, which honestly, I need to play that game. I need to get a Switch too because I would love that game. I know I would. Ghost of Yotai, which makes a lot of sense, and NBA 2K26. I guarantee you Battlefield 6 5 times as many as Pokemon. I'm just guessing, but I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Like if Pokemon sold 3 million, I would guess Battlefield sold 6 million. Now, the number that we do know, I believe it is in this article. This article is Windows Central. It's official. Battlefield 6 is the best-selling game of 2025. So this is the article that says best-selling game, not just best-selling shooter, which, by the way, you guys can't see. But now you can. And holy smokes, it had the biggest launch month of any game in the past 3 years, too. So this is, I don't know if I actually showed this on screen before, but this is what I was showing is the list of the top games. 2K, I guarantee you sold pretty good. Everything under this, I bet you is just kind of like meh sales. But as a whole, Battlefield crushed it. Now, the number that we want to look at in here is the launch 3 days right here, selling a whopping 7 million copies in just 3 days. So based off of that, I am going to spitball a number. I am going to say 20 million copies is probably a pretty good guess within the first month. If they beat Modern Warfare 2 2022, which I'm guessing was about a 30 million copy sales game total, I would be willing to bet 20 million is a pretty good guess for the first month. Now, here's where things get weird though, because this lens to the question is, did Battlefield completely beat Call of Duty? And I would say some of it shows yes. Like some of what we have seen. In fact, there's going to be a post here. Let me see if I can find it. I didn't pull it up in advance. There's a post from Call of Duty that is extremely telling. And it came just a few days after launch, where they typically put out a post stating, hey, look at this. This has been the #1 played game, the #1 sold game, the #1 this game, the #1 that game. And that is not the post that they put out. They put out a post essentially saying, we want to congratulate our teams. Here it is. Found it. This one, congratulations to the Treyarch and Raven and all the incredible Black Ops 7 developers, and thank you to all of the Call of Duty fans everywhere. Across opening weekend, we've seen a great response to the quality and depth of gameplay in Black Ops 7. This is only the start. Our teams have an incredible year of content lined up, which I do agree. I do agree with what they're saying here. Based off of what we've seen for Season 1 and what we know is coming, Season 1 is looking pretty huge, and they are putting out a solid... That's a really good point, Mesa. We'll come back to that in a second. A really, really huge continuation of the game. Now, here's the interesting thing is we also got some numbers that came out today. These are player numbers across PlayStation. Well, not player numbers, but player rankings across PlayStation and Xbox. The number one played game on Xbox is Call of Duty HQ, which again is Call of Duty HQ. It includes Warzone. It includes all of that. Now, I believe Battlefield 6 does include RedSec, but I could be wrong there. So they're kind of doing the same sort of thing, but I believe it does include RedSec. If we look at PlayStation, Fortnite number 1, then Call of Duty HQ. Can we just say it's impressive that GTA 5 is still number 3? Like, that's actually pretty wild. Battlefield sitting at number 5 and number 4. So not like Battlefield's doing bad whatsoever. However, when we go here, these are Steam numbers across... it looks like on the left, we have US, then Canada middle, and then Mexico on the right. Battlefield is number 1 in both Canada and Mexico, with Arc Raiders being number 1 in the US. Arc Raiders being number 2 in Canada. Arc Raiders being number 5 in Mexico. Mexico just apparently really doesn't like Arc Raiders. However, this is telling. Call of Duty is not even going to be on this list because here's the thing with Call of Duty. Number 1, on PC, not as many people play it, just straight up. Also on PC, it's on Battle.net and Xbox Game Pass. I have never played, aside from older Call of Duties, a Call of Duty game on Steam. Like a new Call of Duty game, I've never played it on Steam. So that is one thing that I will say, and that's one of the reasons why we see this. But to see those numbers of, okay, Call of Duty is still number 1 and 2 on player numbers on console is pretty impressive. Now, here's the thing. I believe this also includes old consoles, right? Definitely. Now, what other tweet do I have here? Yes, and then this is the other thing that came out. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launch weekend sales were 50% lower compared to Black Ops 6 in Europe across physical and digital sales. Also, Black Ops 7 sales were also 63% lower than Battlefield 6 in Europe. Okay, we can do something with those numbers, right? 63% lower. So let's take 60%, right? Because I believe Battlefield does sell better in the UK than the US. I don't know why, but I believe that's true. But let's say 60%, right? What's 60% of 7 million, right? 60% of, it's impossible. It's incalculable. But 50% of 7 is 3.5 million. So let's just say 3 million. 3 million copies in the first 3 days would be, I think, a pretty good guess of what this Call of Duty game sold. And so 10 million total by the end of the first month, about half of what Battlefield sold by my guess. So those are where those numbers are coming from. And those numbers make a lot of sense. At least to me. And it just goes to show, I think like the final wrap up that you can say with the Call of Duty versus Battlefield thing is Call of Duty screwed up in 2 major ways. And I certainly hope that they have learned this by now. Number 1, if Call of Duty has competition, people will go to the competition. And to get complacent and release essentially the same title of a game, just get rid of the number, Black Ops, back-to-back years is no longer going to work. You can't be complacent in that way. Done. The other thing is Call of Duty gets scared. When they saw Black Ops 6 sell really well in the first year, they went, we need more Black Ops. When they saw Modern Warfare 2019 sell super well, they're like, we need more of this. When in reality, they need to be looking to the future and seeing what players are actually going to want in the future. Battlefield 6 hit at a perfect time where people were like, we don't want futuristic shooters. We just had a Black Ops game. We don't need a mind-bending shooter, reality shooter. And they pumped that out before Call of Duty could pump out Modern Warfare 4. If I was Call of Duty right now, I would be diving balls first into an extraction shooter. DMZ would have all hands on deck, and it would be like, this is the social experience that people are wanting. It's no longer this battle royale. It is clearly a good extraction shooter. Boys, we need to pull this off. Everyone lock in. This is what we are working on. Now, I guarantee you some people in chat and some people who watch us on YouTube are going to be like, dude, I don't want an extraction shooter. I want Call of Duty to be multiplayer. Dude, they got to nail that too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I think if they want that, the next big thing, it's taking Call of Duty's gameplay and putting it into a good extraction shooter with an out-of-game economy, with a good backpack system, just like basically DMZ, but better. I think that will pull people in. Do they do it? I don't know. Do they put it behind a paywall? Do they put it as part of Warzone? That is a whole other question altogether. But that's kind of where we're standing right now. It is now confirmed that Battlefield 6 did indeed win against Call of Duty this year. It's official.